Sister, again, it's not that God needs our help. It's that we are very powerful when we are connected to source. And some connect to the source of darkness. God allows that power to be given, to be found. I mean, God is all giving, all goodness. And please, folks, yeah, hit the like. Hit the like. Here we got our first guest. Let's see what's going on, Craig. What are you bringing today?
Peace and love, Jack. Much love. I'll tell you what, guys. You want to open your hearts? Look at Jack first. He's opened his heart to everyone. Fucking much love, Jack. Really do love you, brother.
Thank you.
I have sent your message to an MP. I'm just waiting for a reply.
Beautiful. Appreciate that. I hope many try to reach out. I mean, because we're all in this world together. And if we can get some of the people who are already inside of the system on the side of peace, well, we've got a better chance at peace obtaining a victory. This question is a good question. Does God work through non-believers who live as good people? Non-believers who strive for love and peace for humanity, or is God required for the ultimate outcome? That's a great question that I don't know I could confidently answer, but my assumption is God works through all that is real. All that is real is what God reveals for us. So that includes the non-believers, and one who lives as a good person. If they believe in goodness, it's an indirect belief in God. So, hey, we've got a wonderful guest in the back. Let me not keep him waiting.
Look at me. I was a non-believer, wasn't I? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you already know why I was a non-believer. Welcome, Scales. Literally, you personally are slowly bringing me over to the side of God. That's the truth. You must admit that. Yeah?
It's not just me. It's a shared experience, and thank you. I am a part of it, but there's many of us.
You're not giving yourself enough credit, dude. You really are not giving yourself enough credit. You really are not. Please don't do that. You should give yourself a lot more credit. You are the reason I'm starting to believe in God again. You are the main reason.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Hey, Dominic, how are you today, brother? Please jump on in if you've got something.
Big up, dude. Big up, Scales, and you're muted. You're muted. You're muted. No one can hear you.
Yeah, we're not getting your sound, brother. And there is the machine lies. Hopefully Dominic will pop back. How are you today, brother?
Yeah, blessings. Yeah, I joined because Dom was here, so I'm sad that he left. But yeah, we're.
I think it was technical issues. I'm assuming he'll be right back. Hey, there was a question from Lindsay. The hardest thing I've ever had to do, I don't know. There's different versions of hard. Sometimes it was just the first time, like quitting drinking seemed hard. Letting go of my past life seemed hard. Changing, moving, all of those things seemed hard. So I don't know. And then also growing up was kind of hard. I had to work a lot, man. I worked hard as a kid. I don't know. What about you guys? What's maybe the hardest thing you've had to do?
I'd say maybe just letting go of people. I think that'd be a hard thing. Giving up on them, letting them go, when they don't want to, participate, and just, feeling like that's it, and there's nothing I can do, and just not trying anymore. I think that's a hard thing to do, because you want to believe in people. You want to believe that they have what it takes and that they'll be there for you as they said they were, and so on and so forth. But sometimes you have to let go and and it's very difficult, because in my philosophy, sort of no one gets left behind, and so on and so forth. So I think it's a little difficult for me to, kind of, just move on. But yeah.
Let's try Dominic. Can we
Yeah,
hear you?
it should be working now. Yeah,
Yeah, welcome. How you doing today, brother?
good. And you guys?
Feeling blessed. I'd love to hear from you too. But let me reflect real quick on machine lies. Sometimes it is real tough to allow others to be how they are, to let them go, right? To sometimes just know better and know that there's really nothing you can do. That can be very, very tough, especially for people who care. So the question we were posed, Seth Scales, is what's the hardest thing you've had to do? Can you name one?
I don't really know. I think I've had it relatively easy, probably compared to most people. So
That's humble. I think Craig might. Oh, Craig, you got something? What's the hardest thing been for you?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
What is the hardest thing you've had to do in your life so far?
Having to say goodbye to my daughter.
Ooh.
And that was when I was 16 years old, and you already know the history of that.
Mm-hmm. That's tough. And this one.
Yeah, you know me, Jack. I never say I'm right, but yeah, that kind of goes along with what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That it's letting go of others, right?
Yeah, it is tough to let go. And this too, this expectations. That was one I didn't realize I had been clinging on to. I had these expectations of this life I thought I should be living. And I was ignoring, I wasn't really appreciating the life I had available to me. But once I found that shift, I don't know if it was hard or not. I mean, it was like a release almost, because I'd been fighting against reality. That's what people have been taught to do. It's crazy. Oh, good. Noel here. Noel, I love you, dear. You know what? It's been a while. How are you, my friend?
Hello, Jack. How are you? Hi, everybody.
Blessings.
Hi. Blessings to
Hey,
you,
greetings,
Jack.
Noel.
I missed you. I really did. Miss all of you guys. I really did.
Noel, how you doing, sweetheart?
Good. How are you?
I'm goody two shoes.
I missed you, Jack.
I'm always happy. I'm always happy when I see Jack
Hey,
come
me
live,
too.
because I know for
Yeah.
a fact that I can calm the
Where
hell down.
is
I'm always happy when
Jack?
he's
Can I
around.
ask you a question? Where is my mom, Margot? Have you ever seen her or no? You haven't. You haven't or no?
I know I saw her within the last month. I can't recall.
How is she doing? Is she doing
Yeah, I think I remember
okay?
that.
Okay.
She showed up in the chat
She's doing okay or no? Is
recently.
she doing okay? Where she is at? I don't know her. I haven't seen her in a long time.
Well, enough about that. We're talking about
Yes.
what subject Jack's on about.
Okay. I was just
Jack?
making sure.
No, I appreciate it. And it's good to see you, Noel.
Good to see you too, Jack.
This question, generically, what is advice for someone needing to let go? For someone whose
Me?
heart is still aching? Well, it's for the group here.
Okay.
Needing to let go. My answer is recognizing that opportunity, that maybe there's some relief found by letting go. Our mind seeks closure. That's the way we're designed. It's so we feel safer inside. But sometimes I guess letting go is a sense of closure, but it's not the one we may want. So I guess for me, it comes down to really in any choice that we're facing, why? What are we hoping to gain? And if we're honest, if we're wanting something that is out of our hands, then we are creating our own suffering, right? That's what the sevenfold path is, right? Or eightfold path. Life is dukkha.
Well, yeah, for some people it's hard, especially if you've helped create that life and you have to say goodbye to it. Yeah, it's hard to let go of those feelings.
That
And you
too.
never really let go of them. It's very hard. Okay, even to this day, I can't let go of it. Otherwise, I'd be
You
scared that I'd
can't.
lose it and I'd never get it back.
But see, that's not a real, it's not logical. And what you're describing is a common thought process. If I don't remember, then maybe I'll forget, right? And we don't want to forget who we love, because then we'd feel bad
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, I want to attempt to answer this,
Please do.
and it's going to be a little bit difficult for me because there's a lot of balls in the air. But I think that in terms of letting go, I think the possibility of of faith, of reconciliation, not expecting that it'll happen, but holding the possibility that it can happen. Right. So and then proceeding with that, right, on your daily life path and not letting it affect you. Right. I think that is a powerful way to be. Right. But it's the path of faith and not the path of, a lesser form that Kierkegaard calls love. Right. Because the knight of love seeks infinite resignation. Right. Even if he doesn't get the thing he loves, he'll be saddened by it. Right. But the knight of faith, he returns to the world thinking that he may even get that thing because God may give it to him anyways, right? So, but even if he doesn't have it, he doesn't let it deter him from participating in the world. So the return to the world and participation in the world is, perhaps the highest goal, right? For the knight of faith versus the knight of love.
I might have lost that train, but
I'm sorry, guys.
I think I got it. Dominic, what are your thoughts? You're a man of wisdom as well. Please.
Well, if it comes to letting things go, then usually that involves losing something from our lives that we have. So I would say after you have lost this thing, to look around you in the present moment and try to identify exactly what it was that was lost that you feel like you have to let go, or that you're put in a situation where you need to let go, and determine if it's really that impactful to the way you live your life or not. And if it is, make changes to your life to fill the void of what you feel like you can't let go, and then let go of what you think that you can let go of.
Sound wisdom is what I hear. Do what you can. Focus on where you are and what you have. And something I heard dealing with grief, particularly when it comes to death, we often look for and long for things where they are not, right? And when we look for things where they are not, well, then we find disappointment. But the reality is, our life is this experience. The experience is made up of all these different parts. So if we can just, I don't want to say get attached to the experience, but maybe get attached to the growth.
Jack froze up, everyone. Jack froze up.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just me.
No,
Jack,
sorry.
froze.
Yeah.
If
Sorry.
you were saying something
Yeah,
after that,
getting
you were saying
lost
something
in the
about the death
experience.
time, you stopped, and you literally just froze up. That was literally what happened. So we didn't hear the rest of what you were saying, dude. And I was actually waiting to hear. Sorry.
Well, to land it real briefly, right? Look for things where they are. And the things and people we love, whether they're with us or not, they're in our heart. They're in our minds, right? And we don't want them in our heart and in our minds with sadness. We want the ones we love in our minds and heart with joy. And we got another wonderful guest.
I wanted to ask you a question, Jack, maybe about, like the epistemology of your philosophy, which is basically, if I'm an individual and I'm trying to open my heart up to God and give in to my intuition to find God and live like Jesus, how do I know? Because I think a lot of people are in this trap of, if I'm actually hearing the word of God or what God actually wants from me, or beliefs coming from other people who are trying to convince me that they are God and I should follow their path, taking me away from my authentic self that God actually wants for me. So how would you say we could know and identify the difference?
That is the question, right? How do you know what path to follow, and how do you know what is and is not from God? Before I jump into that, I want to welcome Finding Gnosis, though, too. Welcome back, DNW. How are you, brother?
Thank you, Jack. Thank you
Big
very
up,
much.
dude. Nice to see you again.
Great to be here. Yeah, Jack, letting go. It's a very important thing to think about and to practice. We should let go. We should let go. We shouldn't cling to things that are already gone or that were never there in the first place. We shouldn't try to hold on to outcomes we've never fully been in control of. And if we try to do that, that's when we become neurotic. That's when we become drained of our energy. And that's when we fail personally in our relationships. We become dysfunctional, Jack. We become insane. We need to live well, Jack, in the present, as you always say, Jack, in the now. And Jack, the how, guys, it is actually simpler than one might think, because it's just about taking peace in your own heart and not fighting reality. Don't fight reality. Rather, start thinking about it and working with it in a pragmatic sense. Yeah. Try to work out what you can do, what is truly up to you, and what is not. And then release the burden of holding on to things that you cannot control and focus on that which you can. Jack, as Marcus Aurelius said, receive without conceit and release without struggle.
Ooh.
And Jack, what he means is, when things come to you, as they do in life, be humble. You find happiness, you find love. People walk into your life, they bring a smile to your life. You get accolades, you get rewarded at work. Don't get too excited, guys. Don't fly too high. Be humble. Be humble. It is but temporary. Accept that fleeting reality. Be thankful for small mercies. But when they go, when they leave you, let them go. Let them flow away. New things are coming. And if you embrace the new, the learning will be its own reward. The learning as you keep going.
Brother, well said. And much of that, I think, is kind of in line where I would go with the answer that Dominic posed. How do we know when we find an answer within us? Is that from God for us? Is that from the world for us? How do we know? I've heard many different tips, and there are ways you can tune into your physical biology, and you can ask your higher self questions, and the body responds. One of the most simple things I found is if you can narrow down your question into yes or no, just the simple uh-huh or uh-uh inside of you can feel different. For myself, though, I used my logic, honestly, my reasoning. Is this answer loving, and does it bring peace to my heart? If it doesn't, then it's probably my short-sightedness, my fear, my anxiety, my insecurities. Does that make sense?
It does, Chuck.
And not to Ryan, man. That's insanity, he said. Going within you is not insane, Ryan. That's where the Holy Spirit will connect with you. But if you don't look for the Holy Spirit within you, you're just going to find everything in the world the way you find it. It is this spirit of, I don't know how exactly to describe it. I find it as a loving awareness with access to supreme intelligence. I think that's what the Holy Spirit within us is. And if we can lean into it, to the divinity of this life, letting go, right? Appreciating the mercy, the support and the positivity while we have it, but being merciful with ourselves to let it go when it's gone. And by being present right now, today, in this world, guys, we have incredible opportunities that past generations did not. Just as we have new problems that past generations did not. I think the world is waking up, guys. We're a part of this process. We're all playing parts in this crazy story of humanity at this time. And so can you kind of play with the idea of a world, this world, the world that we know of, but without all the dirty pollution and crime and problems, this world, but without wars, and a world of fairness, where all around the world people were looking out for each other. Can you imagine how much better the world would be with a shift in values? Jump in, please.
Well, not only just people looking out for each other, but just respecting each individual's ability to live their own life on their own terms, so long as it doesn't interfere with other people's ability to live their own lives on their own terms, because that's where the line is crossed.
That's where the dispute is found, though, too. And this is something I've been trying to figure out. How would it be more fair in communities? Because right now we've got the municipalities and the corporations can claim some sort of domicile over, I don't remember that. No, that's not the term. There's a term where they claim property for the municipality. Sovereign domain or something like that. But by some of the bigger projects, it does affect individuals. So what would be the course of resolve within that?
For me, I think the answer is in humanizing the technology, right? In sort of bringing it back to small scale communities, right? And allowing them to work with the technology, and also making it a project for local communities to preserve their ecological, sort of footprint, right? So I think two things are necessary. One, bringing the technology back to a local scale, right? And then secondly, having the community work within the ecological sort of impact that they're having, right? And I think that them because every local space has its own sort of plants and wilderness and sort of projects there. So I think they can all contribute to that. So if we're going to bring local communities back into it, because see, large scale technologies like nuclear power, they rely on huge administrative outlets in order to accomplish them. And then these have to be guarded by the state. So I think that takes the power away from local communities.
I want to jump back to this, the technology, bringing it into the community, because there's something I came across, and I'm curious if you are familiar. We got another guest. I'm going to bring him up. Again, we're raising the standards, and we're having real good conversations.
Jack!
Welcome back, Imperius.
Peace. Jack, I gotta say this. Jack, you hurt my feelings yesterday a little bit. Jack, you chose the incestual couple over. It broke me deep. Mariah had to coddle me to sleep, Jack. She had to hold me, and I fell asleep, Jack. I did. I was real upset about it.
Imperious, how
Yes,
are you?
Noel. Hi, Noel.
Hi, Imperious. I missed
How are
you.
you? I miss you too, Noel. I love you. I love when you prank. I love when you prank people, Noel. You're very funny.
Thank you.
Big up, brother Imp. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Jack. Jack, peace and love today, Jack. I feel it's a peaceful and loving Monday, Jack. Jack, the world keeps turning, Jack. As the world turns, so is the days of our lives, Jack. And it's a sick world we live in. We've got
Imperious, can
Yes,
you
ma'am.
please add me on here? Add me on YouTube.
I don't know how to add people on YouTube.
Okay.
I could add you on Discord.
Discord,
But I don't know
can
about
you please?
YouTube.
What is
Yeah.
yours? The Discord.
Noel,
Imperious?
You actually can't add people on YouTube. They can go to your channel and subscribe. That's it.
Yeah.
They have to do the work, not you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
What is
go
it?
message Mariah on Discord, and she'll send you my name to add me.
Okay, I did message her, but
Noel,
she haven't
Mariah
messaged
loves
me
you,
back.
Noel, so she'll message
Thank
you quickly.
you. Thank you.
Jack, back to the subject what we were talking about, though. Love, Jack, I think love is truth, and these corporations, Jack, are not truth. If you notice, Jack, everything in this world seems fake. Like,
Yes.
everything, Jack. If you notice, like, everything we see, the media, you see all these famous people that act all rich, and they're in huge amounts of debt. They have internal horrible sadnesses, and they don't feel fulfilled as people. And then they do drugs, and you see all these beautiful, happy places. But then you turn up and you see all these crazy murder conspiracies, like that lady who killed her 3 kids, Jack, that everyone's talking about all over the news and stuff. I'm just saying, Jack, everything's fake. We got to be more through truth, Jack. People have to be honest with themselves.
What
and
happened there,
everybody around them.
Imperious, with that lady? I didn't hear about that. That's in America, obviously.
No, dude, it was a terrible story from what I understand, Jack. Like, she was this woman went through postpartum and all that, and you know what I mean? And he went out one day and he came home and she strangled her kids and tried to kill herself and stuff. Jack, is nuts, dude. It's a sad situation, And I think, Jack, what we got to be is truthful and honest. When you see people upset or sick like that or whatever, you got to be honest and tell people. You got to make things aware. You can't just lie to people, lie to yourself like it's not happening. You know what I mean,
Imperious,
Jack?
what was
Right.
going on with that story? Can you please tell us?
No,
Story.
let's move on. Let's move on to something more relevant to us.
Well, actually, I think Imperious does bring up a good point when he talks about fiction and corporations, because that's literally what a corporation is. It's a body of fiction that people come together to form because they don't want to actually take accountability for the technology and
My name
services
is Good
and products.
Maria.
that their corporation puts out into the world.
Well, and what do you think they don't talk about that story, Jack? Is it because she was on a bunch of psychotropic medication that these corporations make, and they don't want people knowing that all these medications they make turn people crazy and stuff, Jack? Could that be why? That they're experimenting us on like dogs, Jack?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm suggesting we as people try to confront. Talking about technology, Machine Lies, you still there, brother? I was curious if
Yes, I'm here.
have you come across this guy Keshe, the Keshe Foundation, by chance?
I have not, and neither have I come across the guy. Emil Torres, right? That DNW was talking about yesterday on a show. But yeah, very interesting ideas there. But yeah, this plasma science, interesting.
Yeah, I don't understand his
I think
science.
this is the guy who wanted to do anti-gravity stuff, or am I wrong
believe
about that?
so.
Or- yeah,
Possibly,
I do remember this guy. Yeah, I believe he's linked with Nassim Haramein and stuff like
Oh, really?
that. Yeah, I
Okay.
think he might have been linked to him. So yeah, I like what they say. You know, I did listen to Nassim Haramein's early presentations, and I gotta say I was a fan of his beginning out, with his thing, and
It caught my attention a while ago, and I've tuned into some of their discussions, but I don't claim to understand the science that they're talking about as far as the plasma, but the claims they're making are pretty incredible regarding energy production and regarding methods of restructuring water to improve our health, and just all sorts of really kind of fantastic claims. So one of the things I heard him talking about was this idea of bringing technology into local communities, but part of that program where he was willing to work is they had to make agreements as far as environmental protection and social protection. And so it took like this big community buy-in. It's been a long time since I looked at them, but we're at a point. There's many groups. There's many amazing discoveries and incredible minds who are alive today. But we lack organization together because the banking system keeps us all divided.
Jack, it's time to break the walls down! We're like Chris Jericho, Jack. Break the walls down.
I'm thinking like more politely flipping the tables. I'm not coming in with the whips as much, but with the power of truth, the evidence of corruption.
Jack Mariah and has told me she likes whips.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Strange
People
woman,
are-
huh?
People are here to do as people are here to do. But guys, can you imagine? Can you try to imagine it actually working? Where people say, hey, you're right. We need to change things because this is wrong.
We need to change it, Jack. We need a revolution of the mind, Jack. Of the spirit.
It's happening.
It starts at the spirit. We need to wake people up, Jack.
It's happening. It is.
The walls
Dominic,
are mental.
there you go. Say that again, please.
Yeah, the walls are mental, meant to divide us amongst ourselves based off of false belief, typically based in property, or maybe even some type of religious belief or political belief, just some type of belief that typically involves some sort of superiority over other people, or the idea that other people owe you something. These are really the things that create what Jack is against.
Well, Jack owes me a hug from yesterday. That's one thing he does owe me.
You got one from Mariah. Consider that better.
All right. That's true. That's true, Jack. All right. Just make all your debt at Mariah. She'll give me a hug.
I'm grateful she was there for you, and it wasn't anything personal. It was just a choice for the moment. I felt it was more practical that way, and maybe I took advantage of our friendship. I trusted that we'd be okay.
Jack, we're always okay.
Thank you.
I agree with Set Scales. You know, look, I think the thing is that Mom, I think the thing is that we live in a time right now where we have to understand that there are corrupted individuals, Jack, that are going to stop at nothing. They'll burn the world down if they have to. And we need to understand that is what we're against, Jack. And only through love and through the Spirit can we recover, Jack. And can we overcome that kind of hatred? Because we can't fight hate. We can't fight hate with hate, Jack.
Exactly. And this is and the path is so simple. The way that we're designed, the God of us, holy cows, man. Mankind is truly out of our minds. Because the path really is just for us to be present, to unite together with the truth. And the truth is we're all united in this time of earth, right? We think we're all divided, but time unites us. Mother Earth unites us. Hell, our physical composition, for the greatest part, it unites us as well.
Our actions unite us as well because our actions are constantly impacting each other. Or I should say we impact each other with our actions.
Well, this is what I consider to be part of the conditioning as well. Part of getting us to conform and to fit in. Now I lost what you just said. Sorry, Dominic. Say that.
Just our actions affect each other. And this is another thing that connects us. Ourselves.
We have an absolute interdependence upon each other. Part of our individual development is, learning how to sustain ourselves and take care of ourselves. But the reality is, all of this conforming and obedience in order to fit in, it denies who we are. All of us are special. And if we can start capturing and growing our talents within us, how many friggin' geniuses are trapped behind a burger line right now, or they're doing some menial job just to keep the lights on? Maybe they're working 2 or 3 jobs, right? And I don't know what it's like for the college kids anymore, but I can imagine trying to work and put yourself through school in this type of time. It's time to do better. Hey, we've got another guest returning. Or welcome back, Ben. How you doing today?
Hey, Jack. How you doing? Hey, guys.
What's up, man?
Hi, Noelle.
Where is Grace?
She's actually at a podcast right now debating
Okay.
just pearly things about. Get a load of this topic. Are women nurturing? And Pearl is saying they're not.
Interesting. That was the one they were discussing, getting ready for yesterday. So
yeah, I think it's just too easy. Women are obviously nurturing, but many women are out of touch with their nurturing capacity.
Jack, are we talking about this again? This is
no. He was catching us up on what's going on. He was asked where Grace is at, what she's doing, and what she's doing is what you guys were talking about. Hey, Ben, really, I do appreciate. I appreciate you yesterday. Thank you.
Oh, thank
You helped us get back on track, and and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Jack, I
Um,
appreciate Noelle for look at how intense she is looking at the screen with the. I love Noelle's earphones, Jack. They're real. Are you doing a retro thing, Noelle?
She's fine. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, we were discussing kind of the greater picture. Opening the heart for peace. That's what I've been working on for myself. We were talking about how do you kind of let go in order to have peace. But it's not just letting go where we can have peace. I also find peace within myself when I can find hope, something to look forward to, a game plan or an answer.
I
Even
have this show to look forward to every day, Jack. That's one thing every day I look forward to this show. And I feel like I can make it through the rest of my day, Jack. That's one thing. Like I'm like I only got a couple more hours after Jack, and
Yes.
I get to go home and relax, Jack. That's it, man.
But Jack, when you let go, there is something to look forward to, and that is a new perspective that will form. You know,
I heard Gnosis like talking about letting go, and I do appreciate that. Sometimes you have to let go of things, but don't you think, like with most things, there's a mean between the extremes, right? So if we're too quick to let go of things, I was just with a guy, I think I told you, he's all about like making sure there's no tension in his life. And so instead of, let's say, addressing issues in his life, let's say I think he should feel guilty because he doesn't have a job and he takes welfare money by lying. And he told me that, which I think was a way of, like making a confession to me. And I said, okay, well then get a job, do something with your life. And I suggested streaming for him to do because, we're streamers. And I was like, you're an interesting guy. If you say, no, what I'm going to do is make sure that I feel peaceful, that's a mistake in that situation, right?
yeah, no, I think there is a limit, though, Ben, and that is when you are becoming dysfunctional, when you are becoming insane, when you are becoming mentally ill. You have to know your limitations. A woman has to know their limitations. We have to know when.
Well, there's that old saying. I mean,
like so say you have a job and you don't like your job, you don't like listening to a boss. Okay, I understand. You could say like, well, I need to dip. I need to like take care of myself.
No, but like it's obviously.
Oh, wait a second. Let me just finish my point. What you need to do is learn how to be obedient to your boss and to do what he asks you to do of him, unless he's just like some kind of crazy person. But what you need to do is grow up in that situation, and it's difficult.
Well, look, I
difficult
do
to
agree
listen
with
to
you.
someone else, right?
I do agree with you. We shouldn't let go too quickly. You know? We shouldn't rush the process to release something.
Because there's a certain
that can just be like a
certain cowardice in just throwing in the towel.
Well,
right?
I don't know. I mean, it can also be cowardice not to release because you're afraid of new challenges, new frontiers that are alien to your knowing. That can be cowardice.
Can I say?
Sorry, go ahead,
What
Imperius.
new frontiers? I don't know what you're talking about.
May I kind of give a verse, Jack, that might kind of speak to this a little bit, Jack? Is that okay? Like a verse that may speak to this? Is that acceptable, Jack, or no? Okay. Thank you, Jack. I don't know if you're going to be upset at me after yesterday. Okay, so Jack, here, I'd like to read this. Not that I have already obtained this or am already perfect, but I press on to make it my own because Jesus Christ has made me his own. Brothers, I do not consider that I have made it my own, but one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind and straightening forward to what lies ahead. I press on toward the goal for the prize of the upward call of God in Jesus Christ. Like you gotta let things go and look forward. You can't live dwelling on stuff.
Right. Here, I kind of get what Ben was saying, especially because I think I know the example you were describing and patterns of avoidance under the use of peace.
But you are
that can be seen
seen
as a spiritual path, but it's like that's actually not the proper spiritual path to go. Well, I'm going to spiritualize problems that I should actually just engage with.
Right.
Well, I think this
Look,
ties. Go ahead.
we do need to test ourselves first, obviously, before we let go, before we release ourselves from something. We need to stay with difficulty and examine, what it's showing us about ourselves, about our limitations, about our beliefs, about our judgments, our attachments, and learn. We need to learn from what is happening.
Yeah,
but that learning process should bring you to a conclusion. And if you are in a position where you are literally swamped, you're stuck in the mud, you're going crazy, you are dysfunctional. By the way, when I'm talking about letting go, Ben, I'm not talking about letting go of routes to progress. I'm talking about letting go of things that are harmful and make us dysfunctional. Okay, so I'm not talking about getting off the career ladder. I'm not talking about letting go of relationships that are promising. I'm talking about.
But
Sorry,
what I'm
ahead.
saying is, like, your channel is called Gnosis, which means knowledge, and I understand the idea of always like learning, and that's part of the process. But I think an important part of life is simply suffering, not and really just enduring suffering, especially for men.
No, but why
that-
are you
yeah,
suffering?
that
No,
we
no, no.
can-
But hold on. There has the purpose. What is the purpose of the suffering?
Well, here's an interesting thing. Who can sing the blues? Who can really sing the blues? People who have suffered. You can't really sing the blues. You can't really bring, let's say, a great artist who's never suffered or has avoided suffering and just smokes weed. Okay, they can't really articulate that depth of experience that only suffering can give you.
Let me jump in here because some of this topic, I think, ties back to that question Seth Scales was asking. How do you know when it is the Holy Spirit guiding you? Right.
Yeah.
And in that job situation, it might be the place for you to be with a different mindset. But it might also be that you're in the wrong place. That
Yeah, I
God
agree with
wants
you.
you somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think you should embrace suffering. Although, in some ways, I actually do think like fasting and things like that are embracing suffering, for a greater good. But so the idea, like, for example, I'm in Vegas right now. It's 105 degrees out. For me to say, like, all right, I should go out in the hot sun and just roast because of suffering instead of being in air conditioning is stupid. But there's, like, I remember a couple of years ago, I had this terrible neck strain. It was caused by me driving for too long, but like I was, didn't. And it was like 9 weeks, 24 hours a day of just pain. And it was really valuable. I think you can't replace that with any kind of gnosis, any kind of knowledge, any kind of reflection. It's just incredible pain that you experience, and it develops you as a person like nothing.
There is necessary suffering, such as the suffering it requires to build a house and toil doing that, or perhaps even grow food. And then there's needless suffering, such as, if you look to someone like China in the 50s trying to do their great leap forward or something like that, and they sacrifice all these tens of millions of people in the name of progress that achieved, it made it good for the people today, I guess you could say, because, they
Not really.
well, they have they seem to have a strong middle class, at least compared to what they did then, but it came at literally the expense of all their grandparents and parents.
But here's the question I would have for you, Dominic. Let's say, okay, so the people on the bottom of that whole thing were just suffering, right? They were not choosing to do the 5-year plan. This was all from the top, Mao and all those people. But when you find yourself, or like the people in Gaza, you find yourself experience suffering, you can't really change it. You simply have to endure it. I think there's great value in accepting that suffering and embracing it and seeing it as a gift.
But that is a kind of gnosis, Ben. When you realize you can get through things and survive, and you can be there for others. Then you have that strength within you. And then also, Ben, there is also this thing, Ben, when you've been hit enough times in life, you do become more resilient, Ben. And that too is a type of gnosis, knowing that, oh, look, I survived this before, or I survived something similar before. I will get through this. I am strong enough.
So.
It gives you a certain confidence.
Gnosis, but I, depending on how you use the term gnosis, I'm not that like concerned about like whether it's gnosis or not. But there's something different with knowledge, which is very valuable, and experience. Like when you say sometimes you feel like you're going crazy, right? And I know Jack has experienced, like maybe some of you guys have experienced, like when you have a little kid, the kid's sick, you're tired, it's 3 a.m. The mother is kind of going crazy. It makes you hit a kind of wall, right? Because you love the kid, you want this, but at some points, men just like they just want to, lash out. They can't believe that life is asking this of them.
I hear you, Ben.
I think those times are intrinsically valuable, not just for the lessons you learn, but like they're intrinsically valuable, even though you hate them. And it's right that you say like, this is suffering. I'm not saying I love suffering, but to stand there and just take care of the kid and endure the screaming and deal with the wife or whoever, whatever she is.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Ben, you claim to be Catholic, right?
Well, I am.
Okay. Well, what did the Catholic Church say about divorce and maintaining a marriage?
The church says a lot of things about divorce and
No. What does it say, Ben?
Well, you tell me. I don't.
No. But what does it say about divorce?
That divorce is a sin.
Not allowed, right?
No, it's not allowed,
in Corinthians, it's not allowed.
Ben,
right?
it's not allowed, Ben.
Yeah,
well,
Paul
actually, that's
says
not
it's not
true.
allowed.
I mean,
annulment
Jesus
is
says it's
allowed.
not allowed,
Annulment is allowed.
Yeah,
an annulment can
and-
only be considered under what terms, Ben? Fraud,
But actually-
or threat?
Got him.
Jack, I don't know why you have these guys.
No, Ben, I'm asking you. I'm not being disrespectful.
I would suggest,
Jack,
like,
Jack,
I can have
I'm
a
literally-
conversation with you. But if you
I'm
talk
trying to
over
be.
me,
I'm
it's
being
not
considerate, and
possible
I'm
to have a conversation.
Jack. What am I doing, Jack? I'm literally speaking to him in a
If
polite.
you let me talk, I'll let you talk. There's no problem. But if you just talk
Let
over
you
me,
talk. Go ahead.
okay. So here's an interesting thing. You may not know this. I don't think you're married. You don't sound like someone who's capable. But if you seek an annulment in the Catholic Church in the United States, you cannot. The tribunal will not hear your case until you have become divorced and the final decree has been submitted. So that's a weird anomaly that exists. So in that case, to seek an annulment, you can pursue a divorce. Yes.
Well, you know what it's
Hold on,
ultimately
can I
all about.
answer that?
It's
Am I
all
am I
about.
allowed to answer things that are for
it's-
me or no?
Sure. I
Yes,
think
go
that's
ahead.
fair. I think that's fair.
Okay, never mind. Jack's upset at me for some reason again. I don't know what I did.
Ultimately, marriage is about living with the choices that you made and raising your kid because you chose to have sex with a woman and it produced a kid. Now you have to live with your life choices. This is a type of good suffering that teaches us that what we do in the world matters and affects other people.
That's not what marriage is.
Yes.
I don't think you understand marriage. What marriage?
Ben, I also want to say this acceptance or letting go is related to emotions, Ben. I think it's like letting go of your own emotions and dealing with things practically. You spoke about when someone's ill that you care about, you're going through hell, even if you're going through hell personally. It's about accepting that and letting go of your emotions, like letting them flow through you and not becoming you, so that you can remain focused on the task in as pragmatic a sense as possible,
May I cut in here? May I cut in here? Please let Jack talk, because I think it's just about to explode in a second.
I think emotions can serve you well. If you love someone, you'll have that emotion, right? And then sometimes
Ben, it's time for Jack to speak. That's what we're saying.
Hey, buddy, you're the type of guy who thinks he's in charge of the room, right?
It's
Right?
actually
You're the
Jack
type
is.
of guy-
Jack is.
You're
This dude is
the type of
ridiculous.
guy who thinks you're in charge. Okay, this is
Hey,
Jack's
Ben.
channel. Jack is welcome to. He can say whatever he wants.
Right.
Hey
I
Ben,
don't think
shut
we
the
need,
fuck up.
Hey, Ben.
here.
Hey, Ben. He was right.
What was he right
Okay.
about, Jack?
He was right that I've been sitting here patiently hoping to get back into the conversation at some point.
Okay, and I was just responding to what someone said.
That was
I know.
actually me who brought it up.
Well,
You have
the
a problem
thing
with that?
is-
If you have a problem with that, it's fine.
Well, Ben, why are you lashing out at someone who's offering you a polite correction?
Oh,
Saying, hey,
this
Ben,
guy,
you know,
I could smell it from a
Hey,
mile away.
no,
This guy
but-
is an
but Ben,
asshole. He
Ben,
sucks. He
Ben,
sucks. That's okay.
dude,
You could disagree. You could disagree. That's okay.
Ben.
That's
The
you.
Catholic Church
Look,
says you
you
can
can
only
look,
get
Jack,
civilly
Jack, Jack,
divorced
just-
after an annulment
just
because an
Jack,
annulment
just-
means a marriage didn't happen.
Just-
Ben
Jack, just prima facie.
erases it.
Jack, just prima facie. I think you would agree with me that if you're a younger
What
man,
does prima facie mean? And it's not prima
on the
facie.
face
It's prima
of it,
facie.
on the face of it, on the face
It's
of it.
then why can't you say it? It's prima facie?
can you let
Okay.
him get to his point? Please?
I think a younger man who wants to correct an older man is usually out of place.
Mhm.
I think that's
That is the most
generally
ridiculous
speaking.
thing I've ever heard.
And a
Ben.
guy like this who
That
wants
is so
to do that
ridiculous.
is a
Doesn't even matter if the older man's wronged or not. You know, what if they need
No, I'm
correcting?
not saying that. I'm not saying that.
That's
but-
basically what you just
So
said.
when Newton was
That's
18 and
literally
he
what
did
you
the
just
laws
said.
of optics, should he have shut up? When Newton was 18,
I'm not
and
saying
he
in
did-
every case that's true, but I'm saying generally speaking, it's disrespectful.
Well, I'm gonna say
Red
generally
flags, Jack.
speaking,
Red
it's
flags, Jack.
ridiculous.
Red flags everywhere.
I know. It's fascinating. Guys, it doesn't have to be this way. We can politely receive what someone says, even if they're younger than us, Ben. I mean, come on.
No, this guy's a fucking prick. So I like.
Ben,
I'm helping him out. by saying-
Actually, I'm the only Brit
Ben,
here,
you
and
don't
he's
start
not a British
insulting
person.
people, please. We don't want to do this, Ben. Please, we don't want to do this.
Look at him.
Jack,
look
tell
at
her-
him. He
tell
looks
him we
like
don't
a
wanna
bitch.
do this.
serious,
Bitch.
please,
Bitch.
please.
It's okay.
Well, but that's what you're doing, Ben.
What's what I'm doing?
No one
What
else
you're
here is
accusing-
using language.
What?
What you're accusing him of being a dick, that's exactly what you're doing.
No, I'm
Ben.
smacking down a little prick, and I'm sure
Ben.
he knows
Ben.
that he deserves it, and he deserves a
No.
smack in his little
Ben,
mug fucking face. And Jack,
Ben,
that's okay.
oh
You
my
disagree with me.
God.
You like bitches like this. That's fine.
no, Ben.
Only projections,
You're
Ben.
misunderstanding.
Projections
Yeah.
of yourself.
It
Okay,
is.
now you got this pot smoking loser down here with the sunglasses on. Again,
Ben.
like look at yourself. Look in the mirror. You're
Jack, he's lashing out like a woman on her period. He's lashing out like a woman on her period, Jack.
listen to his drug-addled giggle, mirthless laughter. Kill yourself.
Here,
And look at
guys,
you bet you got like a fat wife beater on, basically.
Hold
Ben,
on,
go
hold
look
on,
at yourself
hold
in the
on.
He's
mirror.
got tits.
You know what a wife beater is?
Jack,
moron?
Jack, I often
What
thought,
are you guys
You know,
doing?
One step short.
Jack,
Yes,
I think
I
you need
do.
to kick everybody off momentarily.
It's a t-shirt,
Even me.
idiot.
It's coming to that. I mean, what are you
You're welcome
guys
to, Jack.
doing?
I respect you. I respect your bill. You know, if you.
I want to
do that.
get back to the subject that Jack
Well,
actually put out there.
Yeah, I thought it was going good. You know, I was trying to, give
Yeah.
Jack back the talk.
May I
but
say
Ben
I
just
love
kept
Noel's
going.
laugh and
Disrespectful
smile.
ways to do that, and then there's what you did.
I
So
think Don
learn your
made
lesson,
some good
boy.
points in response to the topic, and I think that Ben is
Okay.
going over insulting people and trying
Yeah,
to.
so I know we all know you have
Round
daddy
up
issues.
something.
Just one look at you and you have daddy issues, right? You got
Ben.
a problem with the white
Ben.
man.
My
you got a
daddy-
problem with-
My daddy's not in the
men.
conversation.
Yeah,
Ben, look,
yeah, he
Ben,
always
one
is.
look at you, I could tell you bang your daughter. Shut up.
Listen
I'm going to
the
start
miracles
dropping
happen.
people who can't treat each other with a little bit of respect. Okay, because this is just absurd. Ben, come on, man. Let's be the better
Jack, why don't-
example.
You know what
I
respect
was
means?
in here to talk
It
about the
means
topic.
how you see yourself.
Hold on.
You
What
know,
I've just
how does
seen
Ben see
here,
us?
scales. Hold on, dude. Right, from what I've just seen here for the past 20 minutes since I've been back on here, right. The only person on this panel who has disrespected anyone is you, Ben.
That's not
Literally,
true.
constantly.
No, that's
Okay,
not
all right,
true.
listen,
That's
bro.
not true, Craig.
Bro, Gnosis. Was I in any way disrespectful towards you?
If I'm wrong,
Was
I'm
I-
sorry,
was
Jack.
I-
I could
You're
be
wrong.
wrong.
Just
I could
answer
be
that
right.
question.
Please.
Was
I'm
I
just
disrespectful
doing
towards
what I've
you, or
seen
was I
and heard.
I know.
perfectly respectful towards you? I didn't.
You were disrespectful towards everybody, Ben.
I
because
don't.
you
I'm
you,
asking you. A
you turned the
question. Why don't
panel
you
into
answer?
absolute
Oh, okay.
chaos when we were trying to have an intellectual conversation, Ben. Now, I'm sorry. That's what I'm going to say.
I was having an intellectual conversation with you. I was in no way disrespectful with you.
Ben, I was trying to have an intellectual conversation about theology, and you went off
Yeah,
on
I
it.
agree. I agree. That's fine. I didn't have a problem with you.
I don't
Well,
understand why you were
you
so
interrupted
triggered
me
by set
constantly.
scales. I'm
Well,
still
let's
at a
all
loss.
shut the fuck up, right? And let's get Jack into this fucking conversation, and let's bring it back to the fucking topic.
See, that I think is respectful. Absolutely. I have
Well,
no problem with that.
thank you. The whole point of today, guys, if we can remember what the message is, it's actually about peace. You know, the absence of conflicts. We don't have to be reactive with each other. All right. I actually feel like we're on the same team when we're gathering together, because we're all people trying to figure out what's going on in this world, what's going on in life. Religions, politics, economics, all of that is a part of this.
Jack, I live life. I think of myself as a squirrel. I'm looking for a chick with a nice butt to get a nut. You know what I mean? I'm not, I'm just going around, Jack. I'm just doing shit.
Jack, do you think that a good definition of peace is the absence of conflict, or can there be peace even within conflict?
It's all perspective, I guess, in that sort of question, because even in conflict, there is peace beneath it.
There can be an individual involved in the conflict who is at peace.
Right. I think it's when the conflict causes you inner conflict. That's problematic. But you can have.
Well, that Ben, that inner conflict. I saw this, and it just, once I saw it, it's so obvious. Our inner conflicts come out as outer battles.
Are you saying that every battle that you have is a projection of your own internal battle? Because I don't think that's true.
There's a part of it. It may not be the entirety, but there is a part. Otherwise, you just let it go, right?
Would you,
But
though?
there's-
I mean, if someone just attacks your family, you just let it go? Wouldn't you defend your family? Or an innocent
Well,
person?
Of course, I assume so. So
I
okay,
think you would,
so
Jack.
I think
let
in the
me-
moment, yeah, but if you have like time
the
there in
moment.
prison, you would you know what I mean? You try to let go and become, reconcile and put that at the feet of God, that anger and vengeance, right, Jack?
Well, I think you can have long-standing conflicts with people in which, you just say like, well, I wish this person well, but I can't resolve the conflict always.
Okay, well,
But-
that's fine. You don't have to wish them horrible. You just say, okay, well, I'm going to part ways, and best to you, and God
Well,
bless.
what I'm saying is let's say that envy is a real thing. Okay, envy is desiring the harm to another. It makes you feel happy that someone else feels sad. It makes you
No,
feel
envy
sad
is
that someone
jealousy
else
of
is
a
happy.
no,
Hold
no,
on,
no,
let me-
no, no.
Hold on,
That's God
Imperious. Hold on,
influence.
Imperious.
Let him finish,
I'll
please.
because you don't, they have something you don't have: attractiveness, money, wealth, power, whatever it is. Okay, that is a definition of envy. If someone envies you and so desires you, to ruin your life, you really can't have peace with them until they let that go.
No, what you can do is say, look, best to you. I mean, I'll defend, what is mine, but I have no ill will toward you. If you have that toward me, you can hold that into you. That's sickness in you.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna-
If they try
Exactly, Pierce.
to, let's say, cause you pain and suffering.
Well, then you go to the local authorities, and you do
Well,
this,
sometimes
thing.
you can't always do that.
Well, I mean,
Sometimes
bro,
they do it within the law, unfortunately, and it can be
Okay.
immoral but lawful.
okay. Well, I mean, you don't.
Yeah.
Again, dude. These are tests that you have to go through in life about how you're going to react. The person, dude, they don't have
I agree.
control
You
over
can have
you.
an inner peace about it. You can have an inner peace.
Yeah,
about
and
it.
that
But
will mean
what
if
I'm
you have
saying
to-
is the relationship is going to be
But then you have an ability to not have a relationship if it's damaging to you.
Not
Can you
always.
please-
Not always.
Can I please? Because the idea was conflict and how the inner conflict comes out.
Yeah.
And the example that Ben brought up in the immediacy of an attack, well, I guess you accept that there is a conflict and a battle on you. And, you know, every case, I couldn't speak because until I was in that situation, I don't know what I would do.
I'm saying
but
like a mugger. I'm saying like a mugger. You know,
I got you.
But
And-
that's
and
an
it's
immediate
defense,
self-defense. That's
Enough-
self-defense. That's like a reaction.
Right, enough
it's
defense to protect, but we don't need to carry the conflicts and the battles. And in this question too, in the immediacy, there may be some justification for righteous anger, and a lot of times
Yeah.
anger is righteous. However, being moved by anger instead of love, that's a fool's choice.
Well, do you think anger and love are
Absolutely.
emotions? Because I think you can express anger out of love, because love isn't an emotion. Love is wanting the good of the other. So
There's a difference between
I would
anger
use an
and-
example
No, hold
of,
on,
like,
hold on,
correcting-
Jack. Listen.
correcting
Let
a
him
child.
finish,
Correcting-
please. Let him finish, please. Ben, what were you saying? Sorry.
I would say, you know, we've both been fathers. You can sometimes have an angry tone towards your kids and be loving them because you know you just need to do that. So
That's
I
the
don't think
truth.
they're
I'm a father myself.
100% in conflict.
Imperious, what were you trying to say? I couldn't hear either of you when you jumped
Sorry,
in.
I said there's a difference between anger and wrath.
Right.
Anger is one thing, wrath is another. That's why the sin is wrath, not anger.
Well, the opposite of love is hate.
No, the opposite of love is complete indifference.
Yeah, you can make that argument, but also hate.
Exactly, Imperious.
No, hate is the lack of love. Complete
Well, hate is
indifference.
wanting evil to happen.
No,
to
no. True hate, like, dude, is the lack of anything, emptiness.
Right.
Love is the most generous, fulfilling thing that you can have, and emptiness is the complete opposite of that.
I think what you're saying is that
Because
in some
hate
ways,
is
the
a type of
Love-
love.
You're
You're loving the vengeance, the response, the way you feel from the like you're loving something.
I think what you're saying is like love and hate are a little bit like hot and cold. Cold is the absence of heat, not really a thing in and of itself. Maybe.
So if that's the case, then conflict would just be the absence of peace.
It is.
Right.
It's from choosing to enable disagreements. Enable disagreements create conflicts. But we can resolve disagreements with the truth. And this comment, that which is, it kind of stood out. You could make the case that God must hate humanity, but I disagree. I believe God loves humanity and humanity hates humanity. Because that's what creates billionaires. We couldn't have billionaires or for-profit prisons if people were not taught to hate.
I hear what you're saying, Jack, but forgive me for slight disagreement, just slight.
Please?
You are part of humanity, Jack, and you don't hate humanity. So
All
not
right.
all humans are guilty of this. So we have to be careful of generalizations, sweeping statements. But I'm sorry, Jack. I'm just saying we must remember there are acolytes amongst us.
Disappointments, all of you.
You know what?
I love it.
You know what I've heard, Jack, is regarding the billionaires is that a lot of like working class people think that it's the billionaires who give them jobs in the first place. And they don't realize that all the energy and effort that they put into these businesses.
We
and
give the
corporations
billionaires a job too. It
who are-
works both ways.
Well, right. That's the point I'm trying to make is that they don't realize this. And furthermore, I don't think they realize that all the energy that they give to these billionaires, they could very easily give to themselves as well in the form
That's
of
not
labor.
true. That's not true.
Yeah, but I think all of
It's
this is
not
just
true?
that paradigm is just a reflection of the Pareto distribution.
Yeah, right. And
But
there
you
is a
understand that
hierarchy.
Pareto-
Very few people would.
Jack,
be good
am I allowed to
listeners.
finish or does Ben interrupt everybody and I have to like? Because you always tell me to shut up when Ben is speaking.
You're obnoxious, dude.
I'm not. I'm giving a mathematical and I'm talking about
No,
the
no,
actual.
I agree. Go ahead. Go ahead. I
Actually,
agree.
just let Imperius talk so that he can get it out of this system. Yeah, just
Thank
let
you.
him talk.
Thank you. I'm saying if the relationship between your class and class struggles and wealth is all just a reflection of the universe's distribution of resources in general. The square
No.
root of any number, okay, is collectively produces and consumes 80%. Okay, this is how it always is. Take a square root of a population, that number of people produces 80% of all the whatever of the population. It produces all that. This is how things are organized. This is the number in the star.
So where is the mathematical equation that says that the billionaires should take the lion's share of that 80%?
Okay, well, if the square root of humanity, okay, produces 80% of things, that small square root should keep the 80% of what they produce. There's your billionaires.
This is a kind of capitalist.
Yeah, that's
apologia. It's a little. I don't think it quite works, but
It
there is some
absolutely
truth.
works.
There is
People
some
who-
truth.
who
A lot of
create-
guys. A lot of guys who say like, how it's very common that a low-level worker would say, "I could do what the boss does," but when if the push came to shove, very few of them could. It takes
people get- I
well,
think
what
people
does
get-
the boss do? All the boss does is
I'll tell you.
organize the workers. That's what
No,
I'm
they
saying.
don't.
Shouldn't
No, no, no,
be
no,
a
no,
boss.
no.
We have
Aren't you
to,
a
we
boss
have,
then,
we have
Carl?
to
No one's
lean
gonna
into
say it.
the
I'll leave the
unfortunate,
panel, Danny.
unfortunate. It's not all merit, Imperius. I mean, some of
Why?
it
Wait,
is-
hold on. How many hours a week does the average CEO work? Do you know?
crazy hours.
Go and tell me.
80 to
60,
100.
70. Yeah.
Well, the thing
Okay.
is that they're not doing actual physical work that their workers do. They're looking at spreadsheets and ledgers and making decisions.
That's like saying
going to
that
direct
generals
the
in a,
labor.
that's
of the
like saying a
people
general
on
in an
those
army does
ledgers.
no work. That's saying a general in an
I
army
mean,
does
he
no
really
work.
doesn't do. He's not the
So
one
the
going.
general
guys,
doesn't
hold
do
on, hold on,
anything.
guys,
Alright,
hold on,
Jack.
guys, hold on, guys, hold on, guys. Can Jack welcome a new member to the panel, please?
Yeah, I'd like
Maybe
to
he
do
doesn't
that.
want to welcome him.
No, I would like to, but Imperius, you were just asking if you could speak without being interrupted, but you did it again to set scales. You get real involved in these conversations. Denizen, welcome to you, brother. How are you? I think I
I'm
left
well.
you.
Greetings.
Big
Thank
up,
you.
Dennis, and welcome to the panel, brother.
I would
Hello,
like.
Dennis.
Thank you, sir.
I would like.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Gnosis.
Is interesting.
What about, are you going to
Thank you,
lecture
sir.
Ben, Jack, or no? Or is Ben the only one that can interrupt? Because you've not once said it to him.
I actually no. I'm just. Jack can say, hold on a minute. I didn't know does he have more to say to Denizen? I was just trying to follow up on this thing about like I think most of us would agree that to say that the only work is work you do with your hands is not true. I mean, you're wrong about that, Dominic. Right? I mean,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said because I was kind of laughing at what you said.
okay, so Jack, is he being disrespectful now, or
Well,
is that
no, because I
is he being a
kind of thought
disrespectful prick?
I
Is he
kind of
being
thought that
disrespectful prick now, Jack?
well,
Was
I
I
mean, I
right
kind of
about
I mean,
that?
I thought you were
Was I
kind of
right
being
about this, Jack?
disrespectful
Was I
because you're
right?
like
Guys,
talking
it's
over
Well,
Jack.
calm it down, you two.
Fucking
Calm it
like,
down,
oh,
you
you're
two.
dumb,
You two ain't got
you're
nothing to
wrong.
say to each other. Don't say anything at all. Simple as that. Why do we have to fucking?
You wanna
That's the same
repeat
we have to say to kids, dude. Hold
Have
on,
you
hold on.
got? Did a man with long hair hurt you in the past, Ben? Because I don't know why you don't like set scales
Yes,
at TML.
this
It's really
fucking
strange.
loser deserves to get told the truth, which is that he's an insolent prick.
You've not
No
told
one
the
else,
truth
no one
one
else here
time
is
since
using
you
language,
panel,
Ben. You're the
Ben.
only one who's
Nothing but
using
lies
language.
leave your
Stop
lips.
with the language.
I don't care. It's fine. Jack does that sometimes with people. We
But
do
it's
it
his
with people.
panel. It's
You
his
don't have to
panel.
all
Who cares
agree.
what you have to say, Ben?
I
Right?
don't
Stop
understand
with the
why this
language. No one
womanish-
else here is using language. But yeah,
Okay,
if
all right,
Jack
so I
wants to
want to
use the
address him
swear
because
words and stuff like that,
I
it's
was
his
following
panel.
up on something he said, which I think is respectful. His response to me was, "I didn't listen to you because I was laughing at you." No, if
Because
that's respectful.
it sounded
Then I don't know what to tell you. If Jack thinks that's
because you
respectful,
did the way you
that's fucking
dismissed
crazy.
Jack as he was
but,
talking.
all right, so
to him,
now
I
the
was
little
laughing
bitch is
at.
going to interrupt me while I'm talking. Go ahead.
Wow.
Well,
Hey, Ben.
I'm asking
Ben.
you now.
Salty.
Hold on,
How
everyone
am I
shut up
wrong?
so Jack can
Tell me
talk.
how
Everyone
I'm wrong,
shut
Ben.
up.
Craig,
Scales.
Craig, that doesn't help.
Let
It
Jack
doesn't
talk.
help.
I'd
It
be
doesn't
happy to
Jack
help.
follow up again. I'll try again.
Sorry, Jack.
If Jack's okay with it, he seems to be struggling. I was just following up on what
Up
you
to Jack.
and Imperious were saying. But if you don't want me to, that's no problem.
He's going to explode in a
Ben.
minute, okay?
Your reaction and the way you're describing set scales, not right, man. Okay.
But Jack, you do this when you feel sometimes with people.
Hey,
You
Ben.
correct? Is that right?
Well, I'm actually trying to help correct you right now. If you're
Yeah.
if you're
Okay.
open
And I
to
think
it,
you're wrong. Is that okay? I just think you're wrong.
well, you can stay ignorant. I mean, that's
Okay,
fine.
well,
You don't-
is it possible that you're wrong?
Well, how about we get to the facts? What facts do you think I'm wrong about, Ben?
Okay. When I just followed up on this conversation, and I was saying I think respectfully that I think we could all agree that intellectual or mental work is also work. This
Yep.
guy responded by saying, and I was pointing it over to him, I think to facilitate a conversation. He said, "I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you're saying because I was too busy laughing at you." I think that's
Yeah.
disrespectful. Okay,
I know you did.
That's his choice. That's his freedom
I
of
heard
choice.
you, Craig, please. I heard you say that, and I can understand why you might have found it disrespectful, but he also explained himself. He was laughing at what you said right before that. You were kind of dismissive about something, and I didn't catch the detail, but it struck him as funny. And so in his chuckle, he admitted, I didn't just hear what you said. I think he was being honest.
Oh,
with
okay.
you.
So I may have misinterpreted that. Okay.
I think so.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was
Yeah,
saying that.
Yeah,
so
you
you could-
misinterpreted.
I was
thought
saying
Ben, how
that so you could
familiar-
repeat yourself.
How familiar are you with
What?
set scales, Ben? Because he's never struck me as a toxic personality. He's a
Exactly.
man with an inquiring mind. He's almost
Ooh,
a
Dominic?
saint and a scholar.
Yeah,
I
thank
may
you,
have got that
DNW.
one wrong, and I
Yeah,
really
thank you,
appreciate
DNW.
being
That's-
corrected.
That's
You
how
were-
I've experienced
Dominic, I
it
thought
too.
you were just being disrespectful, just like openly
No.
as you could.
Yeah, that's how I've
That's
experienced
how
it
it
too.
came across to me.
No, that's how I've experienced.
You're
Dom
not
too.
saying you're saying
Yeah,
that's not what happened.
I noticed he won't let me
Props
talk
to
right
Ben.
now. Yeah, that's how I've experienced Dom too. But I think that Ben is collectively just disrespectful. You're right. He disrespected me.
Nah,
I,
get it. You got
I
that.
think
This-
Ben
this
is just
hell
really
of
upset
marijuana
right
from
now
here.
because his wife divorced
No,
him,
I
his
do
daughter
apologize.
ran out.
that's right,
I-
Imperious.
I-
I think he's putting his personal
I will
issues.
say
Stop.
that I think I got that wrong. I think I got that wrong. So I apologize to you, Dominic. If you were not trying to be
There we
disrespectful
go.
and you were just clarifying, I'm totally in the wrong.
Yeah, thanks.
problem.
Yeah,
Okay.
thanks.
Yes,
Yeah, thank
like
you.
I said, that was my
Yeah,
way of
I appreciate you, Jack.
asking you
I
to
appreciate
repeat
Jack.
yourself and explaining why you should repeat yourself.
That's
So if you want to repeat yourself and tell me why I'm wrong, I'll hear it again.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. We could, all right. So all I was saying is that I think generally we would agree, but it sounds like you don't agree that the only kind of work is not physical work. So if someone is planning something, if someone's organizing, if someone's like making phone calls, that's actually more difficult work than just being a grunt, like shoveling a shovel, right? We generally recognize that.
That's a
Well,
matter of
the
opinion.
thing is, Ben, is that
More valuable.
the type of intellectual work that I'm referring to when it comes to these CEOs and things is that they're based in this authoritarian master-slave dynamic where they think that people owe them their bodies and labors, and then their whole work just becomes directing their bodies to empower their own lifestyle. In fact, I have done like my own intellectual works, like all my videos on YouTube are basically that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Okay,
And
can
is
I
that-
answer?
Yeah,
Jack?
most
Can I-
of the
Isn't that work though? Isn't that work?
May I hold on? May I answer? First of all, look, I think he has Dominic. I understand that you have an egalitarian mindset, but in no organizational structure is there anything egalitarian. Everything is hierarchical in organization. Animals
That's
themselves are hierarchical, basic animals from crustaceans all the way up. This idea of like a world where everyone just dances in the field holding hands is just not existence in anything. The
It's a-
universe is
I
strong
think
the
we
universe.
There's a mix.
The universe's base state is destruction. Right now, there are galaxies colliding with one another, destroying things, black holes eating entire solar systems. What are we talking about that things get along all the time? No, it is an authoritative directive
What
down
do
structure.
the black holes and the galaxies have to do with the way we
That's
live?
what I'm saying
Yeah,
is
I
that
agree
it's
with that.
utilitarian nonsense where you think it's nice that everyone has the same, or that doesn't exist anywhere in the universe from
Imperious?
large to small.
Not yet. Not yet. It's not in our awareness yet because we haven't sought it. It's there.
No, in
It
the
is
fundamental formations of the
No.
universe.
Right. There is a part of the universe that's destruction, but the God of creation is who we're really supposed to follow. Right?
Forget the
That's-
God of
No,
creation.
but God
how
says,
about just
"I
modern
form the light."
man?
No, he says, "I form the light and create the darkness. I create destruction, or I create prosperity and calamity.
Okay.
I, the
and what
Lord,
about
do all
Jesus?
things."
And what about Jesus?
That's what Jesus. That was him saying that.
Okay, and our path
Jesus
is to
never said
follow
those
him.
words.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Thank you.
Why don't you read Isaiah 45? Ben.
Okay, so you're crediting the Old Testament
Well,
revealings of God
who-
as from Jesus. So you're
that's who was
crediting
speaking. Yeah, that's who is. That's
Okay,
who,
that's okay. So I'm
he
seeing.
said, "I
all right.
fulfill Isaiah." He said
Well,
that
just
many
to be-
times.
Well, just to be fair, he's
Right.
making a statement about the Trinity itself, right? When Catholics see God speaking in the Old
Well,
Testament,
no. He actually refers to, I completed Isaiah. I come to
Hey,
complete the process.
Imperious, I don't know if anyone here has really gotten to say, let me not exaggerate. I was trying to get to a point without the interruption, my brother. Okay? You're kind of doing what I think a lot of Christians do without realizing it. If we give power to the destruction, if we give power to sin, we lose. The way of Jesus is overcoming through the light, with the light. That's what I was trying to point out, Imperious, okay? I mean, that deeper philosophical idea of it's Jesus before he was, that's a separate conversation for this, please.
Jack, that's not what I'm saying. God, Jesus, God, acknowledges that the universe itself, this creation, is not equal, and that there is no overall equality that will ever be achieved in that kind of way.
Jack, can I try to address what Imperius is saying from I do know
Please.
a little bit about Catholic theology. So,
Please.
okay. So Paul deals with this, and he said, St. Paul says, we all have gifts to build up the body. The hand is not the foot. The head is not the heart. Okay. And there is a hierarchy there, right? Okay. Without your brain, nothing works. And maybe your fingernail is not as important. But Paul says all of this is to build up the body. And so there is a kind of egalitarianism, while there's a recognition that there's differences, and some of those differences may be substantial. I think that's the synthesis here. Imperius is emphasizing the difference. I think at a certain point, that's not Christianity. That becomes a kind of like paganism, right? Like we're better than them. We must crush them. And
Well,
destroy
wait, no, hold on. Wait, again, did Jesus not say, "Follow my apostles' teachings"?
them.
So he didn't have the apostles, and he didn't give them authority.
No, he did. Yes.
Okay, so then how is everything egalitarian?
No, but the apostles have an office. They're actually not better people than anyone else.
It's not about better
Some of them
people. I didn't say
are-
that.
some
I
of them
said there's
are-
authority and instruction.
Okay, so if you're going to ask me a question and then I answer it, and in the middle of answering it you interrupt, then you're not really participating.
Because I know the answer you're going to say, Ben.
Okay,
It's
so then-
elementary.
so just talk to yourself. It's
Yeah, okay, I would
masturbation.
hope.
That's what
I
you
would
are.
like
You're
it. It'd be a better challenge.
Masturbate. Go ahead.
It would be a
masturbate.
better challenge if
We'll
I
all
did.
listen,
There's
watch
no
you
need
masturbate
for that,
and cheer.
Ben. There is no need to say that.
Well, Ben's crashing out.
Well,
He's got
that's
a
what it
divorce.
is. If he asks someone a question and he says, I know what the answer is, so I'm going to interrupt
Ben,
you.
there's
we're just
in
doing
law school you
masturbation.
learn something. You say never ask a question you don't know the
I would
answer.
say
to.
listening is better. That's like more.
Ben, there's
relational.
nothing that I can learn from you except how to bang my daughter, and I don't have one, so I'm okay.
Okay, is that okay? Was that
Well, you
sad?
said you call me all kinds of names. You insult me, say
No,
masturbation, this, and that. Ben,
I
you're not
said
the
that's
you're not
what
the
you
favorite daughter up
articulated
here,
is
Ben.
masturbation.
You're not the favorite daughter up here, Ben. Go
Please,
ahead.
please pause with the attacks, okay? From Hank. Jack, thank you for the contribution. I think I forgot to read your other one. Jack, is there some story, fiction or otherwise, that crystallizes your vision? Maybe some utopian story. I actually think Isaiah 2. They will turn their swords into plows and their spears into pruning knives. Nations will not take up sword against other nations. Neither shall they learn war anymore. So I guess in Isaiah, there's a story, fiction or otherwise, that is in line with what I'm saying. And this comment was for Ben earlier. Hank, again, thank you for that. And Ben, Jack doesn't have a job, and it never been a problem for him. That's not entirely true. He even has that lovely apartment somehow.
Jack, may I
And I
say
don't have
something?
a
May I
job either,
say a
but I'm not
verse?
talking about that. I'm talking
Jack,
about
may I say a verse? Timothy 1:5. Let the elders who rule well be considered worthy of double honor, especially those who labor in preaching and teaching. So the Bible also says, give value to your rulers and your leaders. So I don't know what you're talking about, Ben. I don't know all this nonsense.
I don't know what you're talking about. There have been popes who were evil men.
And you still listen to them.
Well, I don't know what I mean, I'm saying, like, yes, there are offices. There's a hierarchy.
Okay.
But
So just do what you're told. Thank you. That's all I was saying. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Again, like, fuck that guy. Like, I'm not saying shit to him.
Now he's cussing at me, Ben.
Well,
You see what I'm
Imperious,
Keep him here, but
hey,
I'm-
Imperious, don't play a victim after you've
Well,
been
why
poked.
is he acting like he has a bussy on here and is so protected?
He's not. And please, I'm not picking sides. I'm just saying, let's stop with the nonsense.
I'm not even upset at him, Jack. He's upset at me. I'm trying to talk.
I have no problem. I'll talk to anyone else. I'm just not talking to this prick any longer.
You know what it means to.
There's
not
no
look.
need to keep you cussing all the time. There's
You have to
literally
write.
no need. No one else here is flaming cussed. The only person who is mostly cussed on this panel is Ben. Ben, please
You know
stop.
what? Would you,
Not that big of a deal.
Rocky?
Okay.
How are you today, brother? What's going on with
I'm
you?
doing good. I'm just trying to, there's different ages in the Bible. So there's an age when Christ will reign for 1,000 years, and then he will turn this into plows, the weapons. But you have to know what age you're living in. There's different ages. There's the age of before Christ was crucified, there was that age, and then after he was another age. And so what age are we in? Is a good
The new age. We're in the new age to bring forth the new kingdom. I know there's a lot of Christian fundamentalists that kind of react at that idea. I was reminded that that's what I'm.
Where does it tell you we're in that age? What verse says that we're in that age?
The new age. We're at the new time. There's an awakening and a revival that's happening around the world.
Where does it say there's going to be a revival?
In the return of Christ, the day of judgment, the day of our Lord. It's upon us.
Yeah.
Right?
But I think that's already happened. I think the millennial reign is over. He came back when he said he was. He said, this generation shall not pass before all these things happen.
Possibly. But what I see happening is, Ben, I think you brought up the scripture that really
I'm not, okay, listen, Jack, if you look at what age is after the millennial reign, there's a short period after the millennial reign, and it's called Satan's little season, where the whole world is deceived. Could we possibly be living in that age, the one after the millennial reign?
Sure.
And
Well,
then
here's
we would
the
have
thing,
to approach
here's the
things
thing,
differently.
Rocky. It's a little season, and it's only lasts for a finite period.
A little
Yeah,
season.
but I'm currently
is,
living in that hell at the moment.
If there's 4 seasons in a year, and a millennial reign was 1,000 years, we don't know how. It's less than 1,000 years for sure. It could be 250.
Jack, may I ask one question of Rocky before you cut him off? I know you're a little upset with him. Rocky, one question. Is there like, okay, so like in your seasons, are there like kind of micro seasons like El Niños and stuff? So like, would you consider there being like a incest El Nino, that there's a lot of that going on as well?
The Bible says that in the Satan's little season, it'll deceive the whole world. I believe this El Nino is their weather weapons, and it says that God will destroy those who destroy the earth. And I believe we're presently watching Satan destroy the earth. He's putting up these data centers. He's fucking with the weather. He's doing all kinds of shit.
We're not helpless. That's the thing.
We shall overcome, Jack. We shall overcome.
Regardless of the time or season, if we can have faith and belief, then we can walk with the Spirit of Christ. And this from John 14:27.
Right. Some will overcome. I believe the overcomers will be those who run for the fucking mountains, because you're not going to fucking fight these robo dogs. I'm just warning you. It's time to get.
Jack, did he say robot attack dogs?
Yep, he did. Fear-based. A lot of fear-based warnings. Got to warn everybody. Head for the hills. Get yourself some ammo. Get yourself some guns.
No.
Jack, what are we living in, Resident Evil? Jack, are we living in Resident Evil with the mech dogs or the zombie dogs? This is fucking wild.
Actually, dude.
Yes.
We are.
They've been invented by Boston Dynamics, and they're already being implemented in the United States military.
Jack, Jack. You know what those remind me of?
Let me tell you
Jack,
something.
Remember in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they had those like moving little mouth chomping metal things that the turtles used to beat up in the cartoons? That's what they're like, Jack. They're like these little chomping things.
China has 390 data centers. We already have 4,500 data centers. They're not, and they already have social credit score. These data centers are not just for monitoring you. They also control the weather. They control this. They control that. Everything. I'm just telling you. They don't.
Do you think they can get cats and dogs to talk to each other?
I've really been trying to read this comment for quite a while here. Can I please read this comment, guys? It's scripture, and I feel it's kind of relevant to the topic today.
Want me to read it for you? Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. Not as the world gives, do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. Blessed Monday to you, my beasties. Besties, sorry.
Guys, this is the message from Jesus. Peace. Peace was left for us. His peace, the peace he walked with, was left for us. Not as the world gives, right? That's not how Jesus gives. That's not how God gives, but peace is what we're here for.
We have an inner peace.
Jack, I have a question. Do you think on one of those
we know where we're going when we die. That's an inner peace we have. We're not afraid to die because we know where we're going when we die. And
hey, Jack,
please,
dogs. I'm telling you,
right when I was going to die. Jack,
sorry,
I'm not afraid to die, but
let's let him.
Jack, do you think on one of those data centers it has the picture that Denizen and I took while we were spooning together? Do you think one of those data centers has that?
Yep. The CIA has that shit.
Do you know China's been monitoring a social score in China for 10 years? they only have 390 data centers. We already have 4,500 data centers. And so they've already.
Why are
would
you
need about
saying it
30
again?
They would need about 3,500 of them just to contain all your rambling. Jesus, let Jack talk.
You guys don't have the spirit. You have to have the spirit to understand the scriptures. The spirit, the reason it says that God gives us peace is because we know where we're going. And some of you don't know where the hell you're going. You
Rocky,
better get.
Can you tell me what day it is, Rocky?
Yeah, I
don't
don't
even
think you know where you are.
I don't even where the hell does he even know what day is in? I mean, like, what month is it, Rocky?
Today.
You know what
is
Jesus meant by "I bring you peace"?
the day
He
of
meant he
your
was going to get
salvation.
Rocky to shut the fuck up.
Today is the day of your salvation. Except Yeshua, Yahuwah, Jesus, Yahushua.
Big up, Bex. Welcome to the panel.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jack. Hello, everyone. Ben,
Hello, Bex.
Curious, Denizen.
Hey,
Craig?
Bex, do you notice how much Rocky simped for you? Right when you came in, he shut up. Jack, you need more women on here. Maybe Rocky will shut the fuck up sometime.
I'm not rude like you, Imperious.
That's true. That's
Only
true.
to the men.
I mean,
Only to the men. Only to the men.
yeah,
Are you
that's
rude. See, now a woman's here.
highly
And you're like, I'm not
questionable.
rude. Jack, look at this. This is now you know how to control
Well, if
Rocky.
you look at it correctly,
Tia-
I've gotten to
Tia
know, I've had,
Mel knows.
hold on, Rocky. I've gotten to know Imperius quite well, right? He will only offend you, right, if you offend him or if you're rude to him. He'll only.
You know what it means when it says, if God gives you, if he hits you with the right, if he hits you and turn the other cheek, that doesn't mean that's so. It slaps you with this
Rocky,
way.
I'm gonna
turn
if you
the
don't
other
if you don't
cheek.
relax, I'm gonna bend you over and spank your cheeks with a paddle. Relax, Rocky.
That
Okay,
means you
just let it go.
stand up. You stand. You don't let him hit the other cheek. You turn the other cheek and put your dukes up. That's what that means, you dummies.
It was a challenge because when you struck someone of a lower class on that side of their face, turning your other cheek is to challenge them to
criticized-
face you as an equal. Rocky,
Yeah.
can you hear my voice?
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, Dennison. You explained that good.
Yeah, so at that time, striking someone on that side of their face was a sign of disrespect, and it was a way to correct someone of the lower class. So what that means is Jesus turned the other cheek to defy the soldier into treating him as an equal, to either admit that they were equals or to confront him as an equal man by daring him to hit him again. It's not about being a pacifist.
It's not
It was
just
about
letting a
defying
man
authority.
lead you forever. It's about
Yes,
treating people. It's about the authoritative that like the people in power shouldn't abuse people outside of power, and that they should look at them like fellow human beings when they're judging punishment and judging, righteousness and guilt and innocence.
Jesus preached non-resistance to evil.
No, he didn't just say non-resistance.
Non-resistance.
Non-resistance isn't even like a thing.
That's
He
definitely
said
not true.
Non-resistance to violence.
Jesus was
no. He said don't
was
That's
the
commit.
definitely
man on
not
the
true.
land.
He didn't say commit, dude. He said don't commit unwarranted violence on your others. You're able to defend yourself. Obey your masters, but know that in your heart, what you're doing and how you should live your life is for God above all, and that God will help you through the hard times. And if the time comes when you need to overthrow the ruler, it will come.
Yeah, something like that.
The time has come. It is time. It is time for mankind to unite as the body of Christ, to become the living body, walking with the living truth, to confront the corrupted and the evil in this world.
If you don't
I
mind,
can get
Jack,
down
I
with
wanna
that.
start this,
Like Jack
hashtag-
Psalm says it, there is a time for everything under.
Sorry, let TML jump in. He hasn't
Yeah.
spoken. Please.
No, just one thing. I want to start this idea of it is time. Hashtag it is time. Right. So let's spread that around because I think that
Time
Jack
is up.
said a lot. We talked.
What time is it? What
Time
time
Yeah, we
is
talked
it?
about that
Time for machine eyes to
yesterday,
stop
but yeah,
smoking weed.
blessings. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for letting me
I
speak.
don't know. What time are you saying it is? It's time
It's,
to
it's
rise
time.
up.
It's time to end Satan's
now.
little season, Rocky. That's what time it is.
Yes. Beautiful. And Perius, you were
How does
trying
it
to
say it's
do
going to end? It says
Jack.
that the camp of the saints will be surrounded by Gog and Magog, which is the world system. And the camp of the saints are those who are the remnant of Christ. And so if you're not the remnant of Christ, it says that they'll surround the camp of the saints, which are the remnant of Christ.
Okay.
And by fire, they'll surround them by fire, like Spokane is surrounded by fire right now. So we're surrounded by, say I'm a saint. I'm living up near Spokane.
Oh, Rocky, let's not keep with these stories.
Okay. Now, and then fire comes down and destroys those who are surrounded. That's how it says. So you're not supposed to fight him. You're supposed to rely on the Lord. He's going to fight him.
Rocky. Okay.
And then
Okay,
and
but
then,
where do the giants come in?
The giants
that's-
are
that's
the
before.
disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. They're called demon-possessed people, can be possessed by the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim, which are the demons that, like the LBGQ and all those motherfuckers.
See, I knew he'd have an answer for that.
Jack, can I finish what I was saying?
Please do.
Okay.
Imperius.
No, I mean, I don't know, Ben. Whoever was talking about, literally, Psalms 58 is an instruction. It says how to remove unjust rulers. So yes, the Bible does. It's whoever is saying a contradiction, or someone was in chat saying there's no contradiction. The Bible instructs and talks about unjust rulership and how kings that are unjust must be removed, but God will give you a sign when they're to be removed. It's not up to our judgment.
Yeah,
It's God.
Jesus
the only
was-
contradiction is communists trying to teach people that Jesus was a pacifist
Yeah,
who
he's
wanted
not.
that should let people run over you and do whatever they want, no matter how unjust and corrupt they are.
Jesus lived in the wilderness as a free man on
Hold
the
on,
land.
Rocky, please, Rocky.
He was
Jesus
a free
didn't-
man on the land.
He didn't believe in unjust violence. He wasn't. Look, what did Peter? Did Jesus hurt Peter when Peter cut off the ear of the Roman soldier trying to defend him from being taken away? He said, "No, Peter, enough. Put the sword away."
Jesus was a self-sufficient carpenter who lived off the land. He was a freeman on the land. Basically, he was the first freeman on the land. It shows you how to live a free man on the land. He had a skill as a carpenter.
Jack, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question about, say, your vision, okay? And I think we all share a similar vision. But to some extent, if you put a bunch of men together, they're going to form hierarchies, right? Like naturally, there's going to be someone who kind of rises to the top. Others, maybe for whatever reason, they're sort of more left followers. Isn't it necessary to do that first? Isn't that the natural order? And then you can go out. For example, if I give you an example, in our society, I think that right now, women have been told to rebel against men, and that's a good idea. And I do think both women and men need to re-establish a proper order there. That and that may take some conflict. It may take some forceful action against both men and women who are keeping this disorder going. Would you agree with that?
I think the
that's a good conflict.
My question, Ben, is what does this hierarchy look like in your mind? What is it based on, besides just?
Well, if I asked you, Dominic,
because it's innate in men.
were you ever in school at some point, right? And if boys are together on a team, there tends to be a leader there's a natural way in which males, not so much females, but males tend to form hierarchies, right? Where the funny guy is, whatever, the cool kids, that kind of thing. That can be wrong. It can be the violent person who takes the bully takes the top of the hierarchy. But I do think it's natural. So are you saying you don't see that in nature, in human nature?
Not amongst
I
humans.
think-
I think that it's a learned behavior. I think
You
that
don't think
hierarchy
it's definitely-
I think hierarchies naturally develop based on competency
Yeah,
and
right.
what you actually value and bring.
Yeah, I agree.
value to
I
people,
agree.
But it has a clear end.
Thank you, Jack. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Later,
Well,
man.
I think
It has
there
a
is a
what? It has a clear
hierarchy.
what?
It's the
The
father.
hierarchy has a clear endpoint because, as it is now, the hierarchy essentially has no endpoint because of things like jurisdiction and eminent
what you mean by
domain, where
endpoint. The
government
hierarchy have an
basically they coerce you at
Well,
all
we-
moments of your life.
Doesn't the Bible teach? a
We put too much.
hierarchy? Father,
We
son.
put too much emphasis. We put too much emphasis on authority over responsibility. I don't think, like, I'm tired of living like lobsters. If we're men, then we don't need to be adhere to what nature prescribes. Now, I don't think that we should lie to ourselves about the fact that hierarchies are completely socially created. We don't have to be retards about it. But acknowledging that truth means that we can incorporate a system of values and incentives to overcome the worst or most base parts of our nature. And the hierarchy right now encourages the least amount of responsibility and accountability goes to the person with the most authority. And those are the people at the top of the hierarchy. And this is a value system.
That's not
So if we
true.
don't share these,
Yeah.
if we don't share it, 100% is true. CEOs are paid. See, the CEO of Starbucks is paid 3,000 times as much as the average employee. Does he really work 3,000 times more than one of his average employees? There's not a chance in hell.
3,000 times less, and that's not true.
No,
He
what?
probably
Okay,
does
okay.
work
No.
Again,
harder
just
and
like
No,
Dennis is
you're just
saying,
making
there-
that up. That was
I think
nowhere in the logic
there's a-
anywhere.
There's a nuance.
you know-
You
guys.
said it's an inverted hierarchy that those on top do the least.
No, I
doubt
said
the CEO of
I did
Starbucks
not
is-
say that. I said they have the least amount of responsibility.
Well,
Let-
that's not true either, obviously.
Well,
There's a
Let Bex jump in here, please.
I'll be after Bex, Jack.
I just
okay?
wanted to add that sometimes, we see leadership as the person who wants the most power is the one who leads, when in fact it's actually the other way around. It's inherent in human nature to want to shirk responsibility, to shirk it. And by the majority
some.
of people don't want responsibility, and ergo the person put in charge is not always the person who wants to be in charge. It's because nobody else wants to take any
Yeah, that's true,
responsibility.
yeah.
And
I
that's
mean, the people at the
Yeah.
bottom of the hierarchy are like homeless junkies on Skid Row, right? Or people in jail. They're largely not
No.
engaged in life. They're not.
No.
No, those aren't not at the bottom of the hierarchy. The people at the bottom of the hierarchy in American society are the average employee, the average worker, the average father, the average mother, the average son or daughter. The
I've been
junkies aren't
told-
in the
That goes
hierarchy.
to the
They're out
same
in the
thing for
street
the UK
shitting
as well.
on the sidewalk.
They're languishing
been-
in jail.
People in jail are not part of the hierarchy.
I've
Yes,
been
they are.
both
They're at the
a
bottom.
part. I've been both a part of the hierarchy and a part of the lower. I was like a lance corporal in the Marines, and then I was a captain. And so there's a rank, and this is
You're
a
still
hierarchy.
the bottom rung.
And the God the Father teaches a hierarchy. Father, Son. There is a hierarchy.
Okay,
The Father.
Rocky.
But there
I
is
just
a
wanted-
hierarchy in
What
government.
the fuck are you on about, Rocky? You're just fucking
I agree
confusing
with
everyone.
Rocky. I agree with Rocky. There is a hierarchy. It's part of nature.
Well, and I just wanted to say one more thing. In Dennison's example, he was by no means did he say that one is 3,000 times more valuable. He was simply saying one was making $3,000 more, 3,000 times more. Not, and we could see that as a representation of the value of the employees, that one is worth that much more, but that's not what he said. And then the other thing I wanted to say too was that when it comes to the homeless person or the doctor that's buying a coffee at Starbucks, they are actually equivalent in this function and irrelevant to Denison's point. It doesn't matter as long as you're buying a Starbucks coffee, where you come from in society is irrelevant. right? Like you're buying the coffee, but it's not a part of what Denison's point was. He was saying that in the hierarchy of things, the guy who's being paid 3,000 times more may not have 3,000 times the responsibility, nor may he work 3,000 times as hard.
The hierarchy,
That's not even close.
the hierarchy sells you. The hierarchy sells you the Starbucks coffee, but they don't drink it because they know it's poison, and they sell you that shit, and you drink it like the dumb motherfuckers you are. And
Jack, may I speak? Can I speak, or was I? May I have a second, or no? Okay. First of all, yeah, Denison's theoretically correct. What you do is because that's essentially he's talking about a society without religion. Religious institutions were structural foundations which understood natural inclinations of humans and tried to streamline them to a certain, efficient outcome or structural outcome that can keep civilization afloat. Okay, number one. Number two, it's very nuanced. This is nuanced. This isn't just, we're going to go in and this is how like everybody lives. This is how everybody doesn't live. You've got to really look at specific indicators on what you're trying to achieve, Jack. That's all I'm saying, man. Like, if you're trying to go in there and say, hey, we understand that there's a hierarchy, but we need to like streamline it this way. Well, you got to be careful because things like that can be manipulated in bad ways as well. That's all I'm saying. Like, and when we talk about CEOs, I mean, okay, look, CEOs are paid by who? Does anyone know who pays the CEOs? Maybe if you don't
The
know
shareholders.
Okay, so the CEO, the
Illuminati.
people who own the company decide what the leader of the company gets paid. If they own,
But they don't. Shareholders don't decide shit.
yes, they do. They have shareholder. Yes, every
No,
year.
they don't.
Yes,
Have you
every
ever
year.
owned shares?
Yes, I do. You have shareholder meetings. Yes, you have quarterly
Yeah,
shareholder
and
meetings.
you don't decide fuck all.
No, you vote. You
See,
vote.
but your vote doesn't mean anything.
Depends on how
The
much you
chairs
own.
vote.
NGOs and corporations are
Right.
an abomination.
depends how
Rocky,
much
why
you-
are you screaming over the actual panel discussion? What the fuck is wrong with
I'm trying
you?
to interrupt you two morons and let you know that corporations and NGOs that rule this world, they are an abomination. And if you want to save the fucking
Rocky.
world, get
Yes,
rid of
yes. Thanks
Rocky.
to the
Rocky.
conversation from 10 years ago for that kindergarten
Right.
remark. No one knew that until you just said it. You offered nothing.
And you interrupted.
Jack, do you?
Well,
would
I'll
you-
give. Can I just give one example and I'll shut up, Jack? Is all I'm saying. I'll give you an example, okay? Look, I'll give an easy one. Disney, for example. Bob Iger, CEO. He was paid $4 million a year, okay, as a CEO, right? Tons of money, 1,000 times more than the average guy makes at 40, 50 grand at Disneyland, right? Okay, great. He acquired, and he decided to acquire intellectual property that later inflated the company's value about 60%, meaning hundreds of billions of dollars. So yeah, he's worth $4 million a year if you're creating that much wealth, structural incentive, and growing the company that much. That's all I'm saying.
But he didn't. He didn't grow the company though
How
by
did- by
himself. He
acquiring-
needed the entire infrastructure in order to do so.
Yes, but he was the one that acquired that additional IP to inflate all that group's value by even 100,000 times more than what they
But not
paid
by
him.
himself. He can't
Yes.
just wiggle his nose and acquire a company. It requires the collective labor of the thousands of people who work beneath him.
No, it doesn't. It requires him.
Okay,
with
well then I
capital
tap
from a
out of
loan.
this conversation at that point.
It requires him getting a loan from a bank to get the capital and purchase it.
You can't get the loan without the equity. The equity
Yes,
is
you
the
can.
business. The business generates
No.
money by creating a product or a service.
The equity isn't the business. It's the intellectual property and the physical structures. Disney doesn't have
Created by
fucking-
the people who work there.
No, created by Disney. Walt Disney.
I wonder if we could get away from like other things.
No, I'm
we've
just
said.
trying to say it's like
We
I'm
could say
tired
that,
of this
for
like bad
example,
guys at the top don't deserve
like
it.
Jack.
Bill Gates
Walt
discovered how to
Disney's dead.
What did
Yeah,
they
and who
do?
did,
Did
and
great
exactly who did
shit.
he leave it to?
We all
Left the
we all participate in the YouTube economy, and I'm curious, like, whether you think it's like a rigged economy. Because if I look at someone like Mr. Beast, he's probably the #1 YouTuber. I think he works hard. I think he does like the kind of content that's like, you know, appealing to a wide variety of people. But I don't feel like the game is rigged against me because Mr. Beast is successful. Do you guys feel like that?
Mr. Beast isn't the one who's rigging it.
Yeah, that guy reshaped the way videos are even made.
I was trying to get in on that last question. I never actually got a chance to even speak
Go ahead,
on
Jack.
the question about hierarchy. Okay. I don't deny that there's evidence of hierarchy in the animal planet and in the natural kingdom, but this idea of hierarchy has been twisted in our society. We've created this illusion of superiority either by someone's color, their gender, their position, and the superiority isn't real, but leadership is real and leadership is important, and it takes people who are qualified and willing to do what is right in order to step up and say, hey, we got this project, I'll be responsible for this, and you know, you guys, that's how we work. And it's happening in our corporations, it's happening in our governments, but since the controlling incentive has been dollars, I think that's where we're lost, guys.
But Jack,
I agree with you, Jack, but I'm going to go after this. I just want to present this, though, Jack. I think we're looking at it very superficially. We're still biological animals. Hierarchy is a biological perspective. Females want hierarchies by how they mate and who they choose to mate to. Males want hierarchies because how much resources you have and how much power you have is how many females, the hierarchy of the kind of female you can get, how predisposed your genes are to be passed on, what kind of genes are, like all that, Jack. Like that,
You're making excellent arguments against hierarchy right now.
No, it makes not only hierarchy, because those are hierarchies. That's why
because females believe in hierarchies. That's why we should have them.
No. I'm talking. It's biology. It's so ingrained that it's in men, because that's why men fight each other to create a hierarchy. So women know who is available, who's at the top, and what men can acquire the most females.
But
men who don't think with their dicks don't do that.
It's not about thinking with your dicks. This is about animal. This is insane. I guess people can't understand like the entire human, human inclination. Why do people go to jobs? Why do they work to acquire resources to reproduce? Like I don't know. Anyways, I got to get out of here.
Don't worry about it.
Jack, theoretically, this, like, say this conflict, right? And you're saying conflict is real. Some people are more competent than others. They gain skills, they pay attention, they stay off drugs, right? And they gain, and some of it's natural. Could it be that the competition, which is in a sort of conflict, if it's directed correctly and it doesn't become destructive, even with money, can bring out the best in us, even if it's like at the, to get the bag. Like, so if you and me and Dominic, we challenged ourselves, who could get the most views, and we'll all put in, $100, and whoever gets the most views or improves their channel the most, we'll get that bag. I don't think that there's anything really wrong with that. If everyone, like, you know what I mean, to kind of challenge yourself as a man. And I understand if we cheat, if one of us cheats against each other, if we let that become dirty, that's a problem. But in and of itself, I don't think money is a problem. And it is a natural reward. You can then go to dinner, and enjoy whatever it is, the fruits of this world.
It's the love of money that's the problem.
Yeah,
right. So when the money itself becomes what you want to achieve, see, you're describing, hey, me and another guy, we're going to compete to make something awesome. And then whoever makes the awesome thing gets some money. That works great, right? That's capitalism on paper. But in practice, the money itself becomes what people seek. And now the bottom dollar becomes more important than being awesome.
Okay, right. And we all recognize that, but like that's just life, right? You can over-exaggerate the importance of money.
Well, that's what we need to fix.
Well, who pays the best?
That's what we're doing. It's how we're destroying ourselves with that right now, Ben.
A lot of people on the internet are on the lower rungs, right? And there's a way in which people who are not at the top of the hierarchy can just be envious of those who are higher up. and that's a vice also, right? To cope, and there can be a kind of victim mentality. And maybe sometimes we should look at ourselves and say, well, why am I on the bottom if I'm
Ben,
smoking
hold on.
marijuana 20 hours
Hold
a day?
on.
Because
No.
I'm not a ruthless,
Hold
greedy
on,
son
hold
of a
on, hold
bitch.
on.
That's
No
why.
offense,
Are you ignoring the
Hold
real
on.
victims? Are you ignoring that there are real victims? You think everyone in poverty is just to blame, the poor folks outside of America?
You guys know the
No, Jack,
hierarchy.
no, Jack, I agree. No, that's a good corrective, Jack.
This is the hierarchy.
There are unjust things, but I think
These
there
guys-
can be a victim mentality. I'm not saying there aren't victims, but you can have a victim mentality, or you can, kind of like look at it optimistic. Like, black people can say, all right, there's certain things that are stereotypes that are put against us, but they could also see it as like a challenge. I got to work extra hard, and that's going to make me, a much better person, a much stronger person in the end, because we all can play the victim of something, right? We all can. It's dangerous to play the victim.
Well,
and it's pointless.
What's dangerous is this model where people are competing against people, and the goal is money, right? So these treasures and the incentive convinces people it's okay to lie. So competition without honesty, that's where we end up with death and corruption.
But isn't it true? It's not the competition that's the problem. It's the
dishonesty.
And so, like, young men like competing at basketball, there's no problem with that. It brings out the best in everyone.
Sure.
And some players are better. Some teams are going to be better. The team that loses shouldn't cry and complain, but they should try to do better. But there's always going to have to be a loser, right?
I'm talking about the game of life.
Yeah.
Competing to survive. We don't.
Yeah, and I think there are tons of opportunities in America. Maybe in some countries there really aren't any. I think there's a lot of opportunities, and if we overdo the victim mentality, which is not to say there aren't victims, that is a formula for our own failure, for which we are to blame to some degree, right?
The problem that I see is that we live in a society where it's more despicable to be the victim of a crime than it is to be a criminal motherfucker. That's the problem I see. So we're out here inadvertently making excuses for liars, thieves, corrupt assholes who don't give a shit about anything but their own worth and authority, and calling anybody else who suffers from their selfishness and bullshit and abuse a victim. And then all of a sudden, once you're labeled a victim, well, now you're the most despicable, pathetic thing that could possibly exist. When I think it's the other way around. I think most of these CEOs are despicable, pathetic people. There you have it. I rest my case. QED. QED. I couldn't have made my case any better at all. I couldn't. I attacked corrupt. I attacked corrupt thieves, and you just called me a victim. You just literally proved the point I was making.
Victim mentality. I appeal to others on the panel whether they.
You have a victim mentality.
I don't. I have a victor mentality.
No, you sound like a victim.
Hey, guys. Well, I love you. Go ahead.
You sound like you're my victim right now. Like I just really hurt you with my opinion.
I just want to point out that, the amount of people who basically are victims in the world is so high to the amount of people that Denizen was just talking about. Even if they do have a victim mindset, it's justified. Even if it might not solve anything.
Well, if I can push back on that, as Christians, and I know many of you guys are not Christians, as Christians, you can never have a victim mentality, because even if something terrible happens to you at the hand of someone else, it's always God who allows that to take place. So in some way, it's a gift to you, even though we're not going to deny that person did you wrong. So, you cannot in any way as a Christian have a victim mentality, because then you're saying God failed, and God never fails.
Okay.
Well, there's a lot of people who fail God.
There you go.
Just accept all the injustices in the world, because it's all part of God's plan.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
Hey, speaking of God's plans, I don't know God's plans, but I know mine. I'm going to be wrapped up in about 15 minutes. So let's start moving towards some Final words, if we can. I think Rocky might be the best place to start. Can we start with you, Rocky, for final words, please?
Okay, I'd just like to say good night. We all know who the hierarchy is, right? The Illuminati and the AI. The
Rocky, it's 2
A-
o'clock in the afternoon. Why are you saying good night? You're in Spokane, Washington.
Yeah, it's 2 o'clock in the
He doesn't know
afternoon.
that. He doesn't know the time.
It's 2:17. 17
Why are you
is
saying
my
good night at
lucky number.
2:17?
17 is my lucky number. So I'll go out with that. Peace. This means I love you.
Okay.
Some people say it means devil horns. And
Love you, buddy.
Thank you, Rocky. Blessings to you, brother.
good night.
And enjoy the nature. He's out there in some beautiful country, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cows, the conversations today. I know we're getting better. We're getting better at communicating with each other without talking over each other, but we had our moments today. I appreciate the conversations. Anyone else? Please.
I just want to say thanks, Jack. God bless. Have a great day. I do want to say again, I am sorry with Dominic. I did misunderstand that. I love that when I make a mistake and you corrected me and I was able to catch it. I have no problem with that at all. I was in the wrong. So I hope you can accept my apology. Take care, guys.
It's all fine. Yeah.
Much love, Ben. Appreciate you, my friend. Craig, how about you, brother?
I still think you should be a prophet, but much love and peace, Jack. Please hit the love, please hit the like and subscribe and share. And literally, if you fucking love Jack as much as you guys say so, fucking dig deep in your pockets, you bums. Fucking show him some love. Come on, give him some cash. Come on.
Hey, it won't hurt. Thank you, Craig. Blessings to you. And for those who are interested, I don't point it out much, but there are links in the description. And we do live in a world where the economy is still what it is. I pray, guys. I really do have faith and belief that while the world is how it is, I really think that we've been on these paths of growth and learning, even in the chaotic experience online. I know I've been developing myself into a better version of me. And I think I've seen that with a lot of others too. Anyone else, please? I'm a fan of you all.
I'll just say that natural law is the answer. And the way to live in harmony with God is to know and accept it. And that's all I'm going to say.
Blessings to you, Dominic. I appreciate you. And that's Set Scales on YouTube, for those who don't know. Andy, for the contribution. The deepest you're digging in your pockets. I truly appreciate it. It's all towards the good work, towards supporting the good work. And Duck, thank you for that, for the match. The $5 buddies. Blessings to you. Gentlemen, kind of want to give TML the one last, I think. Is that all right, Denizen? You mind?
Well, it's up to you guys because
Yes,
I have
sir.
a Bible verse. So I know lots of people read Bible verses, so I will read one because I randomly opened up the Bible today and I read a verse, and I thought it was pretty poignant to all of our situations.
Please, either way.
Okay, so I will read this for you guys. It says, I have understanding as well as you. Oh yeah. Sorry. This is Job chapter 12. So I randomly opened this up. So it says, but I have understanding as well as you. I'm not inferior to you. Who does not know such things as these? I'm a laughing stock to my friends. I, who called to God, and he answered me. A just and blameless man, am a laughing stock. So it says, in the thought of one who is at ease, there is contempt for misfortune. It is ready for those whose feet slip. The tents of robbers are at peace, and those who provoke God are secure, who bring their God in their hand. But ask the beasts, they will teach you, the birds of the heavens, and they will tell you, or the bushes of the earth, and they will teach you, and the fish of the sea will declare to you. Who among these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? In his hand is the life of every living thing and the breath of all mankind. Does not the ear test words as the palate tests taste food? Wisdom is with the aged, and understanding in the length of days. With God are wisdom and might. He has the counsel and understanding. If he tears down, none can rebuild. If he shuts a man in, none can open. If he withholds the waters, they dry up. If he sends them out, they overwhelm the land. With him are strength and sound and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. He leads counselor and stripped away, and judges he makes fools. He loses and bonds. He loses the bonds of kings, and binds a waistcloth on their lips. He leads the priests away stripped and overthrows the mighty. He deprives the speech of those who are trusted and takes away the discernment of the elders. He pours contempt on princes and loosens the belt of the strong. He uncovers the deeps out of the darkness and brings the deep darkness to light. He makes nations great and he destroys them. He enlarges nations and leads them away. He takes away understanding from the chiefs and the people of the earth and makes them wander in the trackless waste. They grope in the dark without light, and he makes them stagger like a drunken man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for joining me. That's Job chapter 12.
Thank you, brother. Blessings to you. The power of that story, right? The power of control. That's what that's about. Hey, much love to you. Denizen, thoughts from you, my brother?
We were told to follow natural law, and I find myself in the unenviable position of attempting to disagree with that. Entropy is natural law, and frankly, I'm bored of living like a lobster. I think we can do better. I'm not naive. I see the harshness of the universe. I see the destructive force in nature and creation itself. But I don't see those natural processes in the system. I see artificial scarcity. I see artificial authority. Authority without accountability. And success and reward without sacrifice. And I think that the functionality of the system is not only the redistribution of wealth, which these same people will claim that they're against, when we say that maybe some of that wealth should be redistributed to the lower classes. I see that not only is it the redistribution of wealth, but it's also the bottom-up enforcement of that redistribution by the very people who are having their pockets emptied out. We have people up here who are not financially successful arguing for the validity of the CEO who makes 3,000 times his average employee. This is the real genius of the system that we're in. And anyone who points out an injustice anywhere, even when that injustice is not even in his own home, is immediately labeled a victim. And victims are the worst things in society. They're to be disregarded and pitied, but never to be taken seriously. This is the ethos of a society run by criminals. And on that note, I would like to apologize to Ben for victimizing him with my opinions. I'm going to try to do better. And thanks for having me, Jack. It's good to see you. I'll see you later.
Much love, Denizen. I appreciate the chuckle there on the way out. Hey, and Objective Ethics, OE, blessings to you. I do want to talk to you again if you're still down there at some point. I hope to ask some questions, because in your recent talk on finding gnosis, yeah, there's some philosophies that I'd love to dig into a little bit more. Thank you for the contribution and sharing this wisdom. Knowledge of the truth is like all knowledge. Without the wisdom necessary to properly apply knowledge, all knowledge is useless. In the hands of the cruel and the selfish, knowledge has proven to be very powerful, though, right? Because there are people who understand human behavior. There's people in the development and the marketing of all these social media apps, all the advertising, all the products and everything. There's people who understand how you work. Do you understand how you work? I didn't understand how I worked. I just understood that I had to go to work, right? Because that's what this society taught me as a man. I got to earn my living. I got to earn my trust. I got to earn my love. That's the devil's game. Brothers and sisters, the love of God has been given to you to walk with peace as you do you, right? Peace is the path. Peace is the purpose. And the idea of the stream title today was tied to the thumbnail as well. Peace, my brothers and sisters, peace is the way. So how do you find peace? How do you find peace? The only way I found is open myself up to it. I got to open myself up to the fact that there is peace in the present, that there is peace beyond the doubts. There's peace beyond the battles. There's peace beyond the resistance. There's peace for us to love. And it is in the peace of being, with the stillness of your heart beating, of the stillness of your breath breathing. And then with that stillness and in that peace, I tell you what, I know my heart is opened up. And when my heart opened up to beyond just my smaller little routine, my smaller little life, once my heart started opening up, it wasn't just in America anymore. And I'd already had a bit of a love for this land and the nation that I called my home. You know, so growing up, I always had a love for the land, and it was beyond just my family, but I really didn't see myself connected to America. I just saw myself working in America. But the more my heart expanded, the more I see the world as mine. This world is yours, okay? It's been claimed by some very selfish and manipulative people that have bought into a corrupted society. Brothers and sisters, it is the truth that shall set us free, and it is with love that the truth has been revealed to me. So I want to point you that way. Walk with love. Walk with love so you can see what you couldn't see before while you were in your unforgiveness or your absence from love. And then once you can see what you can see in a place of peace and through the lens of love, man, life just changes. I'm going to wrap it up there. I do have a set to forward over to our friend, Finding Gnosis, DNW. I believe he is hosting another panel friend of ours, Frank Monday. So for those who stick around, you may find your way there, and I hope you share some love wherever you go. Thank you again for sharing your time with me today, whether it was live or later on the panel or anyway. God bless you. Till next time, choose love, peace for everyone. And of course, walk with faith so you too live without fear. Thank you again to everyone, and God bless. Peace.